I never told my daughter about the cottage in Muskoka. I was sitting at my brother's place in Thunder Bay when my phone lit up with Emily's name. It was 2 a.m., her time in Toronto. "Dad, we need to talk. Now." Her voice had that edge I'd learned to recognize over 33 years of fatherhood. I set down my coffee. My brother David raised his eyebrows from across his kitchen table. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" "Derek knows." 2 words. That's all it took for my chest to tighten. "Knows what?" "About the property. About everything Mom left me. He's been going through my emails, Dad. He found the property tax statements. He's furious that I didn't tell him about the Muskoka Cottage." I closed my eyes. There it was. The moment I'd been preparing for since Emily brought Derek Whitmore home 3 years ago. Let me back up. My wife Sarah died when Emily was 28. Ovarian cancer. Took her in 6 months. Before she passed, Sarah and I sat in her hospital room, and she made me promise something. "Richard," she said, gripping my hand with what little strength she had left, "Emily's going to meet someone, and you're going to want to like him, because you'll want her to be happy. But don't let that cloud your judgment." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying protect her. Protect what we've built. Not everyone will love her for the right reasons." Sarah had been a tax attorney. Sharp as they come. She'd structured everything carefully. Our primary residence in Toronto's Beaches neighborhood was in both our names. But the Muskoka Cottage, her grandfather's property worth close to $2 million, she'd placed in an irrevocable trust with Emily as the sole beneficiary. Her investment portfolio, another $1.8 million, same deal. Everything protected, everything deliberate. I didn't fully understand her concern then. I do now. Emily met Derek Whitmore 2 years after Sarah died. He was 35. She was 30. He worked in marketing, drove a leased Mercedes C-Class, wore expensive suits. Charming guy. Always had a story. Always knew the right thing to say. Their first dinner at our house. Derek admired everything. The original oak floors, the artwork Sarah had collected, the view of the lake. "You've done well for yourself, Richard," he said, swirling his wine. "What line of work are you in?" "I'm a civil engineer." Was. Retired now. Must have been lucrative. This house, this neighborhood, very impressive. Something about the way he said it stuck with me. Not admiration, calculation. Emily was smitten, though. She'd laugh at his jokes, lean into him, defend him when I asked basic questions about his background. "Dad, stop interrogating him. He's not applying for a job." But I did my homework anyway. Derek had been engaged twice before. Both engagements ended within a year. I couldn't find anything illegal, nothing overtly wrong, but the pattern bothered me. When I mentioned it to Emily, she shut down. "People have pasts, Dad. You're being unfair." Maybe I was. Maybe Sarah's warning had made me paranoid. But then came the engagement. Derek proposed at the CN Tower. Very public. Photographers he'd somehow arranged. Emily called me in tears of joy. I said all the right things, congratulated them, welcomed him to the family. Then I called my attorney, James Morrison. "James, I need to draft a prenuptial agreement." We met the next day. I explained the situation, the trust, the investments, the cottage Emily didn't even know about yet because Sarah had wanted to wait until she was 35 to tell her. "The trust is already protected," James said, "but we should still do a prenup. Clearly define separate property. Make sure he understands that Emily's inheritance is not marital property." When I brought it up with Emily, she was hurt. "Dad, you don't trust him?" "This isn't about trust. This is about being smart. Your mother would have insisted on this." Derek's reaction was interesting. When Emily told him, he was quiet for a moment, then shrugged. "If it makes your dad comfortable, I'm fine with it. I'm marrying you, not your bank account." Too easy, too smooth. That's what bothered me. The wedding was set for June. Then Derek started talking about the kind of wedding Emily deserved. A destination wedding in Banff. That's going to cost a fortune," I said. "Derek says we only get married once. We should do it right. Who's paying for this?" "We are, together." But they weren't. Not really. Derek's contribution was minimal. Emily was draining her savings account, the one thing not in the trust. $15,000 on the venue, $20,000 on catering, $8,000 on flowers alone. The photography package was $12,000. I watched my daughter spend $55,000 on one day while Derek spent maybe $8,000, and the whole time he talked about our wedding and our investment in our future. I pulled Emily aside a week before the wedding. Sweetheart, this is a lot of money. Dad, please. I don't want to fight about this. I'm not fighting. I'm concerned. You've spent almost all your savings. It's my money. And Derek's right. We're building a life together. This is how we started. The prenup got signed 3 days before the wedding. Derek barely read it. Just flipped to the signature page, signed, and smiled at Emily. See? No big deal. Like I said, I'm here for you, not your money. That smile. God, I wanted to believe it was genuine. The wedding was beautiful. I'll give them that. The mountains, the ceremony. Emily looked radiant. I walked her down the aisle, and when I handed her to Derek, I whispered, "Take care of her." "Always," he said. 3 months later, they moved into Emily's condo in downtown Toronto. The condo she'd bought with her salary as a graphic designer. Derek suggested he quit his marketing job to pursue entrepreneurship. "What kind of business?" I asked during a Sunday dinner. "E-commerce. Drop shipping. The margins are incredible, Richard. I just need some time to build it up." Emily was supportive. "He's been working so hard at jobs he hates, Dad. He deserves a chance to do something he's passionate about." 6 months in, Derek's business had made exactly $0, but he'd spent plenty. A new laptop, a standing desk, a ring light for product videos, subscriptions to marketing courses, all on Emily's credit card. I bit my tongue. Emily was an adult. She'd made her choice. Then came the renovation conversation. Derek wanted to gut the kitchen in Emily's condo. "It's outdated. If we want to build equity, we need to modernize." "That'll cost $40,000 minimum," I said. "Investment, Richard. Think of it as an investment. In a property that's only in Emily's name." His smile tightened. "We're married. What's hers is ours." "Actually, that's not how it works in Canada. The condo is separate property, especially with the prenup." "Right. The prenup." He said it like a dirty word. Emily defended him. "Dad, we're renovating our home. Can you please be happy for us?" I stayed quiet. Watched them hire contractors. Watched the budget balloon to $60,000. Watched Derek pick out Sub-Zero appliances and Italian marble countertops, while his business continued to earn nothing. A year into the marriage, Emily looked tired. We had lunch, just us, and I asked how things were. "Good," she said, but she wouldn't meet my eyes. "It's fine, Dad, we're fine. Marriage is just harder than I thought." "Harder how?" "Derek's stressed about the business. He says I don't support him enough, that I'm too focused on my career instead of us building something together." "You're supporting both of you. He's working too. Just because he's not making money yet doesn't mean—" "How long is yet?" "It's been over a year." She stood up. "I didn't come here to be criticized. If you can't be supportive, I'll go." I didn't hear from her for 2 weeks. Then Sarah's trust provision kicked in. Emily turned 35, and the trust documents required disclosure. James called me first. "Richard, I need to inform Emily about the full extent of the trust, per Sarah's instructions." "I know. Do it." James met with Emily. Explained the cottage, the investment accounts, the structure Sarah had created. Emily called me that night. "Dad, why didn't you tell me? Your mother wanted you to be 35, old enough to understand the responsibility. Derek's going to ask questions. Then tell him the truth. It's your inheritance, not marital property. But we're married." "Yes. And the prenup is very clear. This is yours alone." The next Sunday, Derek brought it up at dinner. Very casual. "So, Emily mentioned there's a family cottage?" "My mother's family cottage," Emily corrected. "In Muskoka. Worth how much?" Emily hesitated. "The appraisal says about $2 million. Derek's eyes widened. He tried to hide it, but I saw. $2 million. "Wow. That's incredible, Em. We should go see it. It's winterized. We could go anytime. Maybe we could rent it out? Generate some income? Help with the renovation costs?" "It's not for rent," I said. "It's a family property." "Right, but Emily's family now includes me, so technically it's our property." "No," I said. "Technically, it's Emily's property, held in trust." His jaw tightened. "You really don't trust me, do you, Richard?" "This has nothing to do with trust. This is how Sarah structured her estate. I'm just the executor." That night, according to Emily later. Derek exploded. Your father has controlled you your whole life. This trust, the prenup, all of it. He doesn't think I'm good enough for you. That's not what this is. Then put the cottage in both our names. Show him we're a team. I can't. It's in a trust. Then break the trust. Dissolve it. You're a grown woman, Emily. You can make your own decisions. But she couldn't break the trust. Sarah had made it ironclad. James had done his job too well. That's when Derek's behavior changed. He started making comments about my age, about my controlling nature, about how Emily needed to set boundaries with me. Emily started canceling our Sunday dinners. When we did talk, she was distant. Then, 2 months ago, Derek found the investment statements. Emily had left her laptop open. Derek saw the quarterly report. $1.8 million in various accounts, all in Emily's name alone. He confronted her. You've been hiding millions from me? I haven't been hiding anything. It's my inheritance. We're married. There are no secrets in marriage. It's not a secret. It's mine, from my mother. That's when he hired a lawyer, tried to challenge the prenup, claiming Emily didn't disclose the full extent of her assets before marriage. The claim was nonsense. The prenup explicitly stated all inheritances, current and future, were separate property. But Derek tried anyway. His lawyer sent a letter to James. James called me. He's grasping at straws. The prenup will hold. But Richard, this is going to get ugly. It did. Derek started a social media campaign, posted about financial infidelity and secret millions, and how Emily's family had manipulated him. Didn't name names, but anyone who knew them could figure it out. Emily was humiliated. Her friends started asking questions. Her colleagues saw the posts. That's when she called me, crying. Dad, I don't know what to do. Come home. Come stay with me for a while. He says if I leave, he'll fight for the condo. He says he's entitled to half because we renovated it together. Let him try. The condo is yours. The prenup is clear. But the renovations were improvements to your separate property. James will handle this. Just come home. She did. Packed a bag while Derek was at the gym. Left her key on the counter. Derek went ballistic. Called her 100 times. Showed up at my house at midnight, pounding on the door. Emily, we need to talk. Your father is poisoning you against me. I called the police. They removed him. Gave him a warning. Then came the email. To Emily, CC to me and James. Since you won't have a reasonable conversation, I'll be pursuing my legal rights to the Muskoka property and a portion of the investment accounts. My lawyer says I'm entitled to compensation for the emotional distress your family has caused me and for the improvements I facilitated to your condo. I suggest we settle this before it gets messy. James responded for us. Your claims have no legal merit. The prenuptial agreement is enforceable. Please have your attorney contact us directly. Derek's attorney tried, claimed constructive trust, claimed unjust enrichment, claimed Emily had made verbal promises to share everything. Every claim failed. The divorce took 8 months. Derek fought every step, demanded the cottage be sold and proceeds split, demanded half the investment accounts, demanded spousal support. He got nothing except what he came into the marriage with, his clothes, his laptop, his standing desk. The judge was clear. Mr. Whitmore, you signed a comprehensive prenuptial agreement. You were represented by counsel. The agreement is valid and enforceable. Mrs. Thornton's inherited assets remain her separate property. Derek left the courtroom looking like he'd been punched. Emily was free. That was 6 months ago. She's living in her condo again, changed the locks, repainted the walls, removed every trace of Derek. Last Sunday, we drove up to the cottage together. First time she'd seen it since she was a kid. Her mother used to take her there every summer. We stood on the dock, looking out at Lake Muskoka. The fall colors were starting, red maples, golden birches. Mom knew, Emily said quietly. Knew what? That someone might try to use me. That's why she set everything up this way. She wanted you protected. I should have listened to you. About Derek. About all of it. You were in love. People in love want to see the best in each other. I ignored every red flag. The spending, the unemployment, the entitlement. I saw what I wanted to see. I put my arm around her shoulders. You learned. That's what matters. She leaned against me. What do I do with all this, Dad? The cottage, the money. It feels like too much. Your mother left it to you because she trusted you to use it wisely, not to hoard it, not to be controlled by it, but to build something meaningful. Like what? That's for you to decide. We stayed until sunset. On the drive back to Toronto, Emily was quiet, thinking. The next week, she called James Morrison, started the process of setting up a foundation, the Sarah Thornton Memorial Fund, focused on providing legal aid to women going through divorce, women who couldn't afford attorneys like James, women being bullied by spouses like Derek. She kept the cottage, uses it now for weekend retreats, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends. She started painting again, something she gave up when she was married. The investment accounts are growing. She lives off her design income, lets the inheritance compound, says she's building something her mother would be proud of. Last month, she started dating again. A teacher named Marcus Chen. He drives a 10-year-old Honda, rents an apartment in Scarborough, and coaches Little League on weekends. He didn't ask about her family or her assets or what her father did for a living. On their third date, Emily told me, he asked about her favorite memory with her mother. That's when I knew he was different. I met Marcus last weekend. Quiet guy. Thoughtful. When I mentioned I was a retired civil engineer, he asked about projects I'd worked on, bridges I'd designed. Genuine curiosity. Not networking, not calculation. At the end of dinner, Emily walked Marcus to his car while I cleaned up. When she came back inside, she sat down at the kitchen table. He's not like Derek. I can see that. I'm being more careful this time. Slower. Good. But I'm not going to let what happened with Derek stop me from trusting people. Mom wouldn't want that. She was right. Sarah had been careful. Yes. Protective. But never cynical. She'd believed in love, in partnership, in building a life with someone worthy. Your mother would be proud of you, I said. I hope so. I know so. Here's what I learned through all of this, and what I wish I'd understood better when Emily first brought Derek home. Financial protection isn't about distrust. It's about wisdom. When Sarah set up those trusts, she wasn't saying Emily will make bad choices. She was saying bad people exist, and they're often very good at seeming like good people. A prenup isn't romantic, but neither is divorce court. If someone truly loves you, they'll understand that protecting what you built before they arrived isn't an insult to them. It's common sense. Pay attention to actions, not words. Derek said all the right things. He said he loved Emily for who she was. He said money didn't matter, but his actions told a different story. The spending, the entitlement, the expectation that what was hers should automatically be his. Real partners build together. They don't demand access to what you've already built. And here's the most important thing. If someone gets angry about you protecting yourself, that's your answer. That's them telling you exactly who they are. Marcus hasn't asked about Emily's finances, hasn't pushed to move in together, hasn't suggested she quit her job to support his dreams. He shows up, he listens, he contributes. He's building his own life while building something with her. That's what partnership looks like. Emily's 37 now. She's wiser, more careful, but not closed off. She's learned that protecting yourself and opening your heart aren't contradictory. They're both necessary. Sarah's trust did its job, not by keeping Emily alone, but by keeping her safe until she could recognize the difference between someone who loved her and someone who loved what she had. I think about that hospital room conversation often. Sarah's insistence on protection. Her warning about seeing what I wanted to see. She was right. I wanted to like Derek because I wanted Emily to be happy. But real happiness doesn't come from pretending red flags are just quirks. It comes from having the courage to acknowledge what you see and the wisdom to protect what matters. The cottage sits on Lake Muskoka, same as it has for 80 years. Emily goes there most weekends now, sometimes with Marcus, sometimes alone. She started writing there, journaling like her mother used to. Last month, she framed one of her mother's old journals and hung it in the cottage, a page where Sarah wrote about teaching Emily to swim in the lake, about holding her daughter in the water, about the trust required to let go and watch Emily paddle on her own. "That's what you did, Mom," Emily wrote underneath. "You let go, but you made sure I had what I needed to stay afloat." The foundation is launching next month. They've already helped 12 women navigate divorce proceedings, provided legal counsel, protected assets from vindictive spouses. Emily told me about one case, A woman whose husband tried to claim half her inheritance from her grandmother. The trust Sarah had designed became the template for their case. They won. "Mom's still protecting people," Emily said. "Through you," I replied. She smiled. "Through us. That's the real inheritance. Not the cottage or the money or the investments, but the wisdom to use it all well, to protect without being cynical, to trust without being naive, to build something that outlasts you." Derek Whitmore sends occasional emails. Emily deletes them without reading. His LinkedIn says he's a business consultant now. Still driving a leased Mercedes. Still looking for the easy path. Some people never learn, but Emily did. And that makes all the difference. If you're reading this and you're young, in love, building a life with someone, hear this. Protect yourself. Not because you expect the worst, but because you're wise enough to prepare for it. Love fully, trust carefully, and never apologize for safeguarding what you've built. The right person will never ask you to. And if someone does ask, if they push and demand and make you feel guilty for protecting yourself, remember, that's not love talking. That's something else entirely. Sarah Thornton understood that. She built protections that lasted beyond her life. Protections that saved her daughter from making a mistake that would have cost her everything. That's what real love does. It protects. It prepares. It endures. The cottage still stands. The trust still holds. And Emily, finally, is free to build the life her mother always hoped she would, with someone who deserves her.